Coming back to the mathematical examples of time value of money, let's consider a certain few examples which we will be talking about in the next few slides. Starting off with the first example, here the data that has been given to us is practically a departmental store has acquired 3000 square feet of office and wants to complete the flooring. They particularly have two options. One marble for flooring is priced at rupees 200 per square feet and laying charges of rupees 50 per square feet, whereas the other option is to have another marble which is basically priced at 120 rupees per square feet with a laying charges of rupees 40 per square feet, while the second marble requires an annual polishing charge of rupees 3 per square feet. The first one does not require any of such. So given the option, which option is better, we need to find out given the 13% interest rate attached to both the options per annum. Moving on to the solution part, we know that basically any time value of money sum can be calculated either in present or future or annual worth. The result or the figures achieved in those three methods might be different, but the outcome of the result, that means the correct kind of decision or the correct kind of option, will never change throughout these three methods. For this sum, we have taken into consideration both the present worth as well as future worth method so that we can easily understand that the result will not and definitely should not vary if we are calculating the sum in a correct way. So if we are taking the names of the marbles to be marble A and marble B, under present worth calculation, what we can do, under present worth at 13%, we are having the per square feet rate of laying as well as the cost of material to be 200 plus 50, and basically that needs to be multiplied by the total area of that office, which is 3000 square feet. So multiplying those two, we are getting the cost of marble A at present worth method at 7,50,000, whereas the next marble or marble B basically has should I say the laying charge of 40, whereas the product price is at 120. So adding those two up, we are getting the value of 160. So 160 into that total area gives us the present worth value of marble B. Now we need to consider one more aspect, as for marble B or the second marble, there is an annual polishing charge most probably attached to it, where the annual polishing charge requires the value of rupees 3 per square feet for the entire flooring. So if we have to take that in consideration, we need to multiply that per square feet value of rupees 3 with the total square feet value of 3000, and we turn the value into 9000, which is practically an annual worth value to us, which is repetitive in nature, and we basically need to transfer that value into present worth. While transferring and adding that value, we are using the formula of given annual to get present, which is 1 plus I whole to the power n minus 1 divided by I into 1 plus I whole to the power n. Here again, in previous PPT lecture, I have always warned students to take that 13% or I or interest rate to be 0.13 here. Be very careful with that particular transformation, as that is the most important part while calculating this sum. So adding the values up, we are getting the value of approximately rupees 5,30,636 rupees. So basically if we consider option A and option B, since both are cost to us, so basically lesser the cost is better for the organization. So the organization should opt for the installation of the marble B. Similarly, as we were talking about that every single sum can be calculated in three of either methods. So if we calculate this in future worth, we are seeing the same value of 7,50,000 for marble A being transferred to from present to future, and we are getting the value somewhere around 25,46,000 approx. Whereas while transferring that same value of 4,80,000 of the laying charges of marble as well as the material cost plus the annual polishing charges of 9,000, if we transfer both the figures, the first one from present to future and the second one from annual to future, and adding those two values up, we get the value somewhere approximately around 17,95,000. So basically, if you see here, again the second option is better since both are cost attached to us. So as you can see, the values from present worth to future worth is just changing from 5,30,000 to 17,95,000. But the option or the decision taken by the organization, if we are correctly calculating that sum, does not change. So keep an eye open, and to cross check your answer, you might, if you have extra time in your examination hall, you can try to solve it in two different methods to actually see whether your answer is correct or not. In the next example, let us consider that a student is borrowing rupees 100 per year for 3 continuous years, and after 3 years the borrowing is stopping, and then starts the loan repayment period through which the loan will be repaid in the next 2 years at a 15% interest rate. So we need to find out how much the student needs to actually repay at the end of the period. So here this is a particular tricky sum. Why we are saying it to be tricky here? The first initial 3 years are basically borrowing period. So if we are borrowing the sum of 100 per year, so that sum of 100 remains constant for the period of 3 years. If it is remaining constant for the period of 3 years, so basically we can consider it to be annual worth, and we need to find out the total borrowing after 3 years, so that we can actually have the figure of how much we need to repay. So if we are considering after 3-year time period, so this value of 100 annual needs to be transferred into future after 3 years. So if we are doing that, we are transferring the annual value of 100 to future value after 3 years using the formula. Now after using the formula, we are obtaining the figure of rupees 347. So here the student has practically borrowed rupees 300, but at the end of 3 years with interest, he has actually borrowed rupees 347. So basically rupees 347 needs to be repaid in the next 2 years. So when next 2 years repayment schedule is being obtained here, so basically there is certain same interest rate also applied for that remaining 2 years as well. So if we are talking about the period of after 3 years, basically another cash flow starts from that point of time. So if that 347 denotes one more starting point of that particular cash flow, so we can easily assume that 347 is nothing but our present value, and the value that we need to pay, or the student needs to pay, that value after 2 years, that value will be calculated or taken into aspect as future value. So basically we are transferring the present worth value of 347 back into the future worth value of after 2 years. So using the formula, if we correctly calculate it, we should be getting somewhere figure around 459. So 459 is the actual amount that the student needs to pay for initially borrowing for 2 years and repaying it after 2 years. So this is what the total value looks like. In this example, what we are seeing here, an investor receives an offer to buy a particular product at rupees 6,800 in cash right now, or else the person needs to pay rupees 140 for a period of 5 years. If the investor otherwise can make 1% per month on his money, find him the better alternative. So this one is pretty much easy, as the person who wants to invest has two basic options. What are the two basic options attached to him? That is, number one, the investor can pay rupees 600 of rupees 6,800 upfront, that is right now in cash, or else he has to basically pay for a period of 5 years or 60 months. For per month payment schedule will be at rupees 140, and most importantly the interest rate attached to it is basically 1% per month, or 12% per annum. If we are talking about, so the first decision is which worth should I actually be calculating it. Here the first option for the investor is in present worth. So it is very much feasible enough for us to calculate the second option in present worth itself. So present worth is of two options. Number one option for present worth is 6,800 rupees cash, and the second present worth option is a simultaneous repayment of money or payment of money of rupees 140, which will be same throughout the tenure. So we can easily consider it to be an annual worth. So 140 from annual turned into present with the help of 1% per month, and the time period of 5 years has been converted into 60 months. So if we are calculating it back, we are getting the figure of 6293 or 6,293 approximately. So within these two options, it is far better for the investor to actually pay it for a monthly period rather than investing upfront. This basically also can be transferred into annual worth, while we can take that option 1 present worth of 6,800, we need to transfer it into annual worth, and 140 per month remains in annual worth. The value might be changed, the value will be changed, or the value will be different from this one, but practically the answer or the result that the person needs to pay it monthly will not be changed throughout the period of time. That is what this example shows us. In this example, we take into aspect that the person deposits rupees 500 in a bank at the end of each year for 5 continuous years. The bank pays 5% interest compounded annually on the deposits. Immediately after the 5th deposit, how much can the person withdraw from the account? If we take into consideration the solution here, the first thing we need to consider is that in this cash flow there is an equal and same amount being repeated throughout the tenure of 5 years. When within that period of 5 years the same amount has been repeated, that particular amount can be taken as annual worth. And another interesting fact that we need to consider here, that is immediately after the 5th deposit. So after the 5th deposit practically means at the end of 5th year. So at the end of 5th year means that basically transfers into the end of the period. If that is what we are talking about, the end of the period to be, that is future worth to us. And if that is future worth to us, the transformation of the value 500 generally moves from the annual worth to the future worth, taking into consideration the 5% interest rate and the 5 years time period. If that is it, what we can do, transfer the value of 500 with the help of the formula 1 plus I whole to the power n minus 1 divided by I and multiply that with 500. We get the future worth value of 5% at 5% to be 2763 approximately. So that amount of around 2700 is the figure that the person can withdraw from the bank immediately after the 5th deposit in his account. A common type of calculation that we face in today's world is that whenever we need to buy a certain thing at a particular cost, we tend to transfer that value into per annum value and we tend to transfer that into EMIs. Here also we take an example where a person needs to buy a particular mobile for rupees 1000, and what he decides to save that rupees 1000 transferred into an uniform kind of amount at the end of each month, and he decides to keep it in a particular bank where the bank pays 6% interest per annum on each deposit. We need to find out the monthly deposit made by the person. Here what we need to do is we need to take into aspect that the rupees 1000 which the person requires to buy that mobile after 1 year is a future worth value to us. When that is a future worth value to us, the time taken for the person to gather that money is 12 months, or basically in this case can be transferred into 12 months. And most importantly, the bank is paying the interest per annum. So if we are transferring and keeping the money in particular bank each month, we can take into aspect that 12 months can be divided by that 6%, which transfers the interest rate into 1.1 by 2 or 0.5% per month, compounding monthly, not compounding yearly. So basically what is our aim? We need to find out that uniform amount which the person or the person who wants to buy the mobile needs to save each month. So that is an uniform amount and repetitive value. Uniform and repetitive value always indicates us towards the annual worth of any value. And definitely we know it that person who needs to save is gathering money for the nth period of time or the future period of time. So basically the transformation of this 1000 transfers from future worth to annual worth, taken into consideration 0.5% from the 6% per annum has been transferred into 0.5% per month, and the time period has been taken as 12 months. If we multiply that 1000 with the formula of transferring that one is I divided by 1 plus I whole to the power n minus 1, we randomly or approximately find out the value somewhere to be rupees 81 or rupees 82. Now this particular value of 81 or 82 saved each month for a continuous period of 12 months helps the person achieve his goal of buying the mobile for rupees 1000 at the end of 1 year.